Hey guys, good morning, welcome to the construction site. Today is the first night we spent with the family in the summer house in the container. The kids like the bunk beds, so let's go see what the guys are up to. Alright, the guys are having breakfast and I climbed on top to take a look at the beams. You can see this is the beam that is going behind the house. Across, that's about 15 meter span. The same on the other side, but this is much thicker rebar because there's huge openings on this wall, and that wall just 5 windows. So yeah, generally they have all the steel put together. You can see they started throwing it into the forms also. So they're probably going to be placing these beams into the forms in a moment, and we'll see what goes next. Maybe they'll tie them up because there's some corner pieces that need to go in also, and then we'll start putting the rebar down onto the floor, and there will be 2 layers also, so pretty big structure. So we run out of acrow props. We are fortunate enough that Mr. Pavel has about 100 acrow props in his storage, so that we could use it for our construction site, but those were not enough. So we are substituting some for wooden basically pieces. Pressure fitted where acrow props would normally be. There's a cut made. Whoa. There's a cut made on the top, so the boards are resting on the cut, and that's really cool. The guys are trying to mix it up a bit, put some wooden props here, some metal props there, so that not all of it is resting on wood, so the reinforcement is pretty good. But normally if you don't have these metal pieces, you could also only use the wooden ones. And I think this is just pine that has been cut into sections, and it's sold by piece. So the wooden posts we are also going to use for the windows, because in most windows these metal pieces, these metal acrow props, they won't fit, and yeah, so those will be holding up the forms for the beams on the windows. Here we have one hacked acrow props from 2 pieces. It's just missing the feature to adjust the height. They put some shims underneath just to regulate the height, and some boards. And in general, that's the idea, that we were going to use those wooden pieces where the metal won't fit. For the metal props on top, you can see we have these beams that run back and forth, and they rest on the acrow props and these kind of hooks or jigs, I would say. This is just welded together rebar, and here in the U there will be 2 boards that can fit. So when you have to join 2 boards together, they can rest easily in this fork, right? And the bottom fits into the acrow prop. It's hollowed inside, so this will support the boards that the flooring rests on, or the form for the floor, top floor. And then these acrow props, they're regulated. They basically have a screw mechanism that you can put these stops in these holes to regulate the height, and then by twisting this screw, this moves up and down, so you can fine-tune the height for your required levels. And with this you can level out the top floor, so the ceiling is nice and even after you pour the concrete. And level is the word. And yeah, so the guys are working on these supports today. They finished the beams upstairs more or less. They're going to drop them in probably tomorrow, tie everything together, and Bartek right now is cutting the rebar for the reinforcement of the concrete slab on the top floor. And you can see here on up top where the beams are for between the posts. The guys are supporting them with boards across, 2 wooden props. So there's the board going across here, and across here, and they're resting on these posts, which in turn are supporting also the floors. So there's a lot of reinforcing going on vertically. There's going to be 20 centimeters of concrete, and that's quite a lot. So the guys are measuring out these boards. These boards that support the forms for the beams on top of the windows next to the wall, so that these wooden forms are supported over here. In the middle of the windows there are going to be probably these wooden posts set in place so that they support the forms. Bartek here is cutting the steel for the mesh that is going to go on top and reinforce the slab or the concrete of the ceiling or top floor. And there's going to be a mesh of steel on the bottom, and then some spacers, and a mesh of steel on the top, so it's like 2 layers of reinforcements, the top and bottom layer, plus of course the reinforcement that we saw, those beams that go around and across the building, that also tie everything together and support the weight on the posts. A lot of steel to cut, but Bartek is doing a great job. As you can see here, he's preparing stack loads of rebar at different lengths, just so the guys can tie everything together. And there's shorter ones, and longer ones, and really long ones, so a lot of cuts to be made. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed this update about our construction, and I hope to see you next time. Have a great day. Bye.